So this is part 2 of the evolution of the swing, and in part 1 we discovered that golf was started by a shepherd in the 1300s on the beach at Musselburgh. Now, what was that shepherd called? I'd like to think he was called Alex of the Hay clan, because the late great Alex Hay, my mentor, hailed from Musselburgh, and Musselburgh is at the very heart and roots of the great game of golf. And we discovered that golf started with Alex Galloway Hay in the 1300s, just knocking pebbles with his upturned crook. And with his just single right hand, he was able to hit pedals 40 or 50 yards purely with his right hand. But that flag, or that target, is about 120 yards away. So the shepherd had to find a way of amplifying the power of his right hand. And very simply, he added the left hand to the right. Now when you play tennis with your right hand, and you then play a two-handed tennis shot, the left hand does not replace or get in the way of the right hand. When we play a two-handed shot in tennis and in golf, the left hand is amplifying the right, not suppressing it, not replacing it, not channeling it. The left hand is there only to aid the right hand. Okay? It's absolutely essential that we understand that point. I can spin the pebble away with one hand, and swish, as we said, is the magic sound. Okay? So, we're now going to amplify the shepherd's crook with two hands, and the swish sound will now travel much, much further. I thinned that one slightly, you could hear it. I'm not going to be dishonest and do another cut. I just didn't catch that ball with the magical swish sound. So let's try again. Two-handed swish. There you go. And the human computer has sent the ball the right distance next to the flag. So I've really increased by 40-50% the power of spinning that pebble across the beach. Now, the moment you start to bring the hands together, questions arise. How do I link them? Well, the fact of the matter is that shepherd Alex, back in the 1300s, if his arms had hung, they would have hung in at 45 degrees. We're not made with our hands like this, we're made them hanging inwards. If I lean forward, I would have to turn my palms to each other to get what we would call neutral muscle structure for the golf swing. So here's the shepherd's crook, and the leading edge of the face of the golf club represents a tennis racket or a striking surface. We can forget the loft. This is the surface that governs the flight of the ball. Top spin, back spin, or pure. So the left hand tends to be a fist grip, simply because the club is held in the whole hand, and it's no coincidence that golf clubs have evolved thick at the top and thin at the bottom. Why? Because your top hand, your left hand, the club runs across the whole hand. It's a fist grip, primarily. When the right hand comes into grip, it's in the fingers. Okay? So, this isn't my bright idea. The ideal grip is you lean forward, you turn your hands to neutral, and your hands come together. The left thumb should run parallel to the shaft right of centre, and the right hand should fit it. It doesn't matter if you baseball it, overlap, or interlock, the grip is going to look the same from the top. Now let's go back a little bit. Let's wind back to the one-handed shot. Here's me holding the club face vertically. My palm and my club face are parallel. So, when I swish the ball away with that creative word, turn and swish, if I do time the shot properly, the ball flies in a pretty straight line. Can you imagine if I held the striking surface like that? It stands to reason that the same swish is going to hit a low hook to the left of the target. Happen to hit a tree and bounce back in. Conversely, if I held the face open, then the creative swish is going to be distorted into a heavy shot, or worse still, a slap out to the right, a slice. Okay? all because the face is corrupted. The moment you depart from neutral muscle structure, you've got a problem. So, imagine as a kid spinning a pebble. You would spin a pebble with your index finger. All the power in your body would manifest through the index finger and the pebble would skip across the pond, okay? So, what does the golf club do? The golf club magnifies that pebble skimming mechanism. There it is, the pebble skimming mechanism applied to the face. The left hand fits the right palm perfectly. I'm sure the good Lord knew all about golf when he made us. The curve of the left thumb designed to match the curve and the socket of the right palm there. It's like a dovetail joint in woodwork. So, back to Alex Galloway Hay on the beach of Musselburgh in the 14th century. He's aimed his crook. He's fashioned into an early golf club. He has a parallel left thumb and a pebble skimming mechanism, and he is now able, just with his hands and arms and a bit of shoulder movement, to swish the ball away, really quite powerfully, and as you can see, rather accurately as well. So, if the task is to swish the ball away and control the angle of the face while we do it, the link between the body and the club is the hands. If I had only one lesson to give you, to rest a lifetime of golf upon, from 40 years of teaching, I think you know what I'm going to say. It's the left thumb. It's everything. If the club rests behind the ball and you apply the left thumb, the link between the club face and this engine is pure. If the left thumb is parallel, the right hand fits it. And the moment the hands fit together, you have wrist cock and forearm rotation at your disposal. The beauty is, at the moment of truth, the impact, the club face is behaving. So, there's another step in the evolution of the swing. It started off with a shepherd just knocking stones with his upturned crook. Swish. That's how golf started. He then amplified that swish with two hands, and the one-handed swish became this. And all of a sudden, the ball would fly well over 100 yards. So, we started with the ball, we applied the club face to it. Swish is the key word of creativity, but in this section, we showed how it evolved into a two-handed grip, and it amplified the pebble skimming mechanism.